Good morning, everybody. Welcome to your daily crypto news for Monday, October 23rd, 2023. I hope everybody had a great weekend. I had a great week. As you guys know, I was traveling. I went down to Indiana to see my buddy. Shout out to his business. My buddy, I've known him for probably around 15 years, first in China. Then, he moved back to the U.S. We did a couple businesses together, actually. He was the co-host on a podcast that I did called Crypto 101. He was the host of ICO 101. Anyway, he started a business in Indiana, Evansville, Indiana. It's called Subscription Comics. He's a comic book nerd. Went down to see his business. We shot some video for him, set up some video for him so he can make some TikToks and YouTubes and, live stream and stuff like that. And you know what? I'm very impressed by the business. He has a crap ton of comic books. He does a really good professional job when it comes to ordering and shipping. His prices are probably the cheapest in the business. And I know that you guys don't want to hear an advertisement, but it's my show and it's my friend. So subscriptioncomics.com. Link is in the show notes. So if you guys are comic book nerds, check him out. Or you can email me, matt@dailycryptonews.net, and I will connect you directly to him. Now let's get into today's crypto news. So Larry Fink, he is the CEO of BlackRock, and he hasn't always been a Bitcoin supporter, a crypto supporter. And I have a timeline of his thoughts on crypto. And as you know, BlackRock is filing a Bitcoin ETF, so therefore something has changed. Let's take a look at that timeline. In 2017, Fink tells Bloomberg that he's a big believer in cryptocurrency, but that the market is rampant with speculation. And Bitcoin is actually an index of money laundering, and this is back in 2017. In 2018, Fink says that BlackRock clients aren't looking to buy crypto. It is ignored. By 2019, he says, I don't believe that we need a new international currency. However, there is a huge need to bring down the fees of currency and cross-currency transactions. So he's looking at, look, how do we make things cheaper? The current system, ACH transfers, wire transfers, and so on and so forth, is just too expensive. I also think he's looking at the POS sales as well. If you're buying something at a convenience store or bar or restaurant, or buying books at a bookstore, that transaction fee that, Visa, MasterCard, and so on takes is quite onerous to a business owner, especially a small business owner. Over in 2020, it looks like BlackRock is hiring people that are pro-crypto. BlackRock's Rick Ryder, the chief investment officer of fixed income, says that crypto is here to stay. Following a rise in Bitcoin price, Fink warns investors that Bitcoin could render the dollar less relevant. He said during an event hosted by the Council of Foreign Relations that Bitcoin has caught the attention and the imagination of many people. Can it evolve into a global market? Possibly. By 2021, he says we're watching it, and we have enjoyed the conversation, but it's not been proven yet. At the same time, the CEO of Chase Bank, Jamie Dimon, called Bitcoin worthless. Meanwhile, Fink reiterates his excitement for a potential huge role digital currency may play for customers. Moving on to 2022, CoinDesk reports that BlackRock plans to allow cryptocurrency trading on its international Aladdin investments platform. Meanwhile, billionaire Peter Thiel, he is skeptical of all these guys. Fink, Dimon, Warren Buffett, he says that they're all enemies of Bitcoin. But still, in 2022, BlackRock then becomes an investor in a $400 million funding round for Circle. Circle, of course, issues stablecoin USDC. At the end of 2022, Fink then says that the next generation for markets will be tokenization of securities. We're here at 2023, and in the middle of 2023, BlackRock files for a spot Bitcoin ETF with the SEC for BlackRock's iShares Bitcoin Trust. The trust designates Coinbase custody as its custodian. Fink then predicts that crypto will outshine global currencies in 2023, and that BlackRock clients are showing heightened interest in crypto. So that was the last 6 years of Larry Fink's evolution to support Bitcoin and file for a Bitcoin spot ETF. And that filing for a Bitcoin spot ETF has created a lot of speculation on when that's going to happen, and if it does, everybody's expecting price to moon. And here to talk about this over $30,000 Bitcoin is my buddy, Paul McNeil, the crypto curator. Paul McNeil, how you doing? Good to see you.
Doing good, man. How you doing?
Excellent. Very good, because Bitcoin's standing around $30,000, 500, 30,005, 35. Wait, I'm going to start that over because I have no clue what I'm talking about. What? I haven't seen prices that high, so I'm confused, Paul.
Indeed, so am I.
So we have the narrative that it's up only from here. What do you think?
I don't think it's up only. Again, I used to get sold into that mindset, right? It's never going to go back down below $30,000 again. And the reality is I think we're going to continue to see this roller coaster, but it is going up. That's for sure. But we're still going to have dips.
I think we're gonna have to retest 31.5. We haven't hit 31.5 yet. We haven't even really hit over 31 yet. We had 30,900, 900 and some change, but we are going to have to. So the past couple months, we've seen it go up. I mean, we're talking about the past 6 months. We've seen it go up, and we've seen it hit. Over 30, but we've never seen it past 31.5. And so what we see here is we see a lot of hype coming in from this Bitcoin so-called ETF that we think is going to happen finally, eventually, sooner or later, maybe, possibly. But if it doesn't, then I think that we're in some deep trouble. How much do you think that, one, the hype for anticipating the Bitcoin ETF is playing into this cycle? Do you think that it's sustainable? And do you think that Bitcoin ETF is inevitable?
Yes, I think the Bitcoin ETF is inevitable. And the reason I believe that is because the SEC did not appeal the Grayscale case. Now, that doesn't mean they approved it, but it means that they didn't appeal Grayscale winning against the SEC. And so since Grayscale has won, it's laid out the path for an ETF to come. So if we know that that's possibly coming, BlackRock is going to be next up. January 10th, I believe it is, the next sort of date that they have to make a decision. I believe that's the day that they're going to decide to approve all the ETFs. And when they do, because the ETFs are going back having this language change constantly, I think that that's going to start the real bull market to sort of run off.
So our fear greed today is around 55, which is way higher than it's been in, I want to say months, honestly. So we're actually heading toward a little bit of the greed on the spectrum. Do you think that that's going to last? I mean, personally, I feel that we're gonna run sideways until way into the new year, and we're not going to see any kind of real decision on the movement of Bitcoin until we have a Bitcoin ETF. Do you agree with me with that statement?
No, I don't think so. I think this little push that we have that started by this fake ETF, I think that the sentiment has in fact changed. I believe that we got some institutional players that are in fact paying attention, and I think they're starting to move into Bitcoin now. And I think that's why this price is starting to run up the way that it is because I don't think it's just retail guys. I think this is starting to some of the institutional money flowing in. So I think this move to 32 to 35, possibly maybe even 40 by the end of the year.
You're
that's
very hopeful, my friend. Very, very hopeful.
40 by the end of the year is my call. I think it can happen.
Okay, so you think, and just to clarify, you think that we're going to see a steady upward movement. I think we're going to go sideways until we have a definitive answer on this by ETF. Basically, what you're saying is people are knowing that this is going to happen. It's an inevitability. And they want to get that Bitcoin early. We're talking about, hey, you know what? We want it at 30, not when it goes. This ETF goes live at 40. We want it at 30 so we can stack our sats. That's what you're saying.
Correct. And then looking at the monthly chart of Bitcoin, we are above the moving average. It's closed above. If it closed above this moving average, which I think it will, the next level is up over that. So 40 is the top part of the Bollinger Band. So again, people that aren't TA, I'm not even a TA expert, but that's what I see. And a good friend of mine, Phil Swanee, thinks the same.
So I think that I'm a little bit more conservative than you are when it comes to investing. I think you would rather, especially when it comes to Bitcoin. And I mean, I don't know why I would be any more risk on with anything else but Bitcoin. But I'm definitely a little bit more conservative. My strategy, now, of course, everybody's listening to whatever Paul says, or I say, this is not financial advice. This is us shooting the shit about the price of Bitcoin. But I personally have been telling people my strategy is I'm holding dry powder. I'm going to wait for the Bitcoin ETF. And then when it launches, the day of, the day after, or something like that, I know I'm going to miss some of that upward mobility because there's going to be hype. There's going to be people aping into it. I think we're going to see a big spike, then a pullback, and then maybe a steady up after that. But I'm going to hold my dry powder until I know this Bitcoin ETF is going to happen. What do you think of that strategy? And are you doing something different?
I think that strategy is, there's nothing wrong with being conservative. I think being conservative means that you're playing a lot safer. It means that, yes, you won't see larger gains, but that's okay. You're still going to see gains. I'm on the other side. I don't mind being the early guy, right? I don't mind trying to take that shot and get that moonshot. And so, yeah, I'm playing DCA, keep buying the dips, right? All throughout the
DCA,
rest of
dollar
this
cost
year.
averaging.
Yep. Dollar cost averaging throughout the rest of this year and watch it run. I think right now, I've been buying and I've been doing a little trading, buying and selling when I get a little pop here or there. But I think 32 is the area where I might sell out and then let it come back down and then buy back in again. And so I'm a swing trader.
Understood. All right, Paul, thanks for coming on and talking about this. And moving into some other news. The year-to-date returns of mining stocks, that's Bitcoin mining stocks, have outpaced Bitcoin's rise this year-to-date of 84.6%. The average return for the top 11 public mining companies this year is more than double than Bitcoin. It's around 150%. Marathon Digital Holdings is sitting at around 120.6%, while Cipher Mining is leading the gains at around 356%. And remember, Bitcoin miners were shutting down? Well, it looks like they're killing it. The Worldcoin Foundation will soon pay orb operators who scan people into the Worldcoin network. The orb, there's this, silver orb that scans your iris and then puts you into the Worldcoin network. Well, instead of getting paid USDC stablecoins for the jobs that they're doing, they're going to get paid world tokens. And the foundation expects to complete this transition by next month. The foundation also told everybody an update on the world token circulating supply, which has reached around 1% of its total supply of 10 billion tokens. Of the approximately 134 million world issued, 100 million were given as loans to market makers, while 34 million have been distributed to users and orb operators in the form of grants. And now this is when my red flag goes off. I know, I'm skeptical, I'm conservative when it comes to these things, but this seems kind of shady. You're paying people real stable, money for the most part. USDC is linked to the dollar. You know exactly how much you're getting paid. Now you're giving them world tokens, which is only 1% of the total supply, so there's a lot of dilution that could happen with this tokens that you're getting to get paid for this. This is not a really adopted token, so you're just basically printing money out of thin air and giving it to people for work that they're doing. If I was an orb operator, I would absolutely throw this damn orb away and say hell to the nah. What do you think? A major vulnerability has been identified in the Bitcoin Lightning Network. The vulnerability, referred to as the replacement cycling attacks, could potentially jeopardize the security of funds flowing through the Lightning Network. Theoretically, it may allow sophisticated attackers to execute a transaction relay jamming attack and target a crucial Lightning Network component known as hash time lock contracts, or HTLC. The objective of such an attack will be to disrupt the normal flow of transactions, causing delays or preventing them from being processed as expected. This could lead to potential risks of loss of funds within the network's channels. However, there's no evidence that this happened over the past 10 months. Patches have been deployed across major Lightning Network implementations. However, the developer who found this vulnerability has expressed reservations about the effectiveness of these mitigation efforts against more advanced forms of attack. He then, interestingly enough, resigns. He said that, effective now, I'm halting my involvement with the development of the Lightning Network and its implementations, including coordinating and handling security issues at the protocol level. What the hell happened? Now, let's get into those crypto prices.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
And the time is 10:37 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Fear Greed is at 55, which is technically neutral, but it's really close to greed. Bitcoin sitting at $30,648, up 2.6% in 24, or 8.5% in 7. Ethereum's at $1,676, up 2.8 in 24, or 5.6 in 7. Tether's number 3. Binance is at $219, up 2.3% in 24, or 2.4 in 7. And XRP is at 52.9 cents, up 2.1% in 24, or 6% in 7. Running off the top 10, we have USDC, Solana, which is at $29.12, up 1.5% in 24, or 24.2% in 7. Cardano's number 8. Doge is number 9, and Tron is 10. The total market cap is sitting at $1.15 trillion, up 1.55%. A Bitcoin dominance of 51.5 and an ETH dominance of 17.3. And that was our show today. I hope you had a great day. I hope you have a great day, and I will see you tomorrow. And until then, happy hodling, everyone.